So, good evening, sir, and welcome to our channel, Seasoned Insights. It's really good to have you here today. And it's been a while since we spoke, so it's quite nice to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a wonderful opportunity to interact with you on this subject.
So, like I said, to set the context, it's basically about you as a person, you as an author, and your journey so far. So, I'll start with you. Tell us something about yourself.
Okay. I'm Dr. Sarfraz Ahmad Khan. So presently I am teaching at West Bengal National University of Judicial Sciences, Kolkata. And my academic background by and large is from Calcutta. So I did my schooling in Calcutta, higher secondary in Calcutta, bachelor degree in law from Calcutta University. There's a college called South Calcutta Law College. And fortunately, that point of time, I got opportunity to study LLM at NUJS, which was just established in the year 2000. So I was first batch of LLM, and I was lucky enough to work directly under Madhava Menon sir, initially as students and subsequently as a teacher there. So the kinds of guidance which I received from him from the beginning has helped me what I am today as a law students or law teachers. So it's all great contribution. I can think it's of Madhav Menon sir, what I am today as in the legal professions.
You're also part of that MILAT, which is established in Professor Madhav Menon's name. There is an organization.
I'm not directly associated with Milat, but it's institutions or basically NGOs formed in Kerala in his name. And initial period, it did lots of work on clinical legal educations. I did executed some program in NUJS for law teachers who comes from the different parts of the country on clinical legal education, because one of the dream work of the Madhav Menon sir was clinical legal education. Yes. And Milat is doing work throughout the country. So, but I'm afraid after Menon sir's he left us. We don't see much activities of Milat now, but it has a huge potential. Initially, during his time, we frequently there are some programs where they are organized by the Milat.
Yeah, because I was part of one program where I met his son. that was in Delhi, and that's how I know about Milat and what they do, etc. So you missed out on one thing. You're also a Chevening scholar, right?
Yes, that's true. That's true. So in the 2004, I got this British Chevening scholarship for pursuing my second LLM at the University of Essex. It was on international human rights law. That year, luckily from India, almost 12 or 13 of us got selected for master level program, and I was one of them from throughout the country. And that's given me a great exposures of the internationals, academic institutions, going to other places. And being Chevening scholar, it's added some advantage because there's a network of all Chevening scholars in UK. So the office of the Chevening Commonwealth in the UK, they used to organize many other get-togethers for the Chevening scholars, which gives opportunity to visit some other universities in London or Oxford or some other places. So it was a wonderful experience of studying 1 year in UK, and that too on the Chevening scholarships. So I was in Essex. My master dissertation was on extraditions topic, which are again criminal law and human rights related topic. And that exposure is really worth. So like when you study in an environment where people from 50, 60 other countries, they are studying together, that itself is a learning processes. That diversity of the scholars, academicians, students, from there also you learn lots of things apart from the academic deliveries at the university.
Absolutely. And incidentally, while I was doing some, I had a look at your profile, and so before, just to reorient myself with your background. And I also happened to chance upon an article about you in terms of how you had a very tough journey to become what you became today. I think it was in DNA Chronicle or something like that. I'm not sure if
That's true. So
it must be
there
a
are
slightly old one.
there are few articles which came in the newspapers even when I came back from UK. Times of India has published a very detailed write-up on me with the titles from hawker to scholar. So those kinds of titles were there. Actually, most of the peoples like me who are first generation learner,
Mhm.
they come from very humble background. So like I can say from my family, I was the first matric in my whole family. Not my saying my father, but
Mhm.
fathers, cousin brothers, all of them. So among whole family, I was the first matric. And from
Oh,
that point of time, I was the determination that I will take or learn at least I will take highest degree of whatever the available in the world. So I will acquire it. And I did also, I did PhD also. So from that background, what happened was I was working with my father. My father has a hawker stall in Calcutta. And that was our life. That's all people like me in the middle class family, first generations who devote time with their parents, work with them. So I used to go to the school. There is a school called Calcutta Madrasa Alia in Calcutta.
mhm.
And I studied there from class 6, 7, 8 till 10. I did from there those years. So my routine was I used to go from cycle from my place where I live to school. And from school, I used to go to Esplanade to support my father. And with
Mhm.
him, I used to come back home in the night around 11, 11:30, 12. And then early morning again, I used to go to school. So
Yeah.
that was my routine. So that normally the other child who go to the play, get those training, etc. For me, those were all daydreaming. So, but I was working and studying both.
Yeah,
Even
but
even when I did my law, even that point of time, my father, that hawker business they stopped. He started a shop in Katopsia in my locality. But I was
mhm.
working, so I got a that point of time I got an agency from United Bank of India. There's a you must be heard. They have a scheme called mini deposit scheme, where
Mhm.
bank agent goes to different place to collect money and they
Correct.
get some commission. So we used to get % commission out of whatever the money I used to collect. So from I think after high secondary, I joined that and I resigned from bank just before leaving for UK.
Oh.
So because that was my support, it was giving for my study continuously. And then when my younger brother was also involved in it, so he was supporting me with that work when I was full-fledged in doing my LLM in the NUJS. So
Mhm.
that's the struggle which many Indians like us has, and uh, we work, and then by God's grace, we are here today.
Oh, good, sir. I mean, it's been a fantastic journey, as I can see. I read an article. I was very surprised because when I had spoken to you earlier, etc., I had no clue that, that was the background and how hard it must have been for you to come up. So I mean, I only have to feel, what is the word for it? It's an awesome thing to do.
It's a hope. Like I believe that the kinds of education system which India offer, it is
Mhm.
unparalleled in the world. I don't think a student in the similar background in some other developed world where education is not free, they will even thought of. In India,
Correct.
because we have a still free educations in the higher studies, etc. Even people
Mm.
from the humble background, they can dream of doing masters, PhD. So whenever the issues comes of the privatizations, etc., I always feel that this all tertiary education should be completely the way it was. It should be free because
Yeah.
the scholarship, financial support, it can never be substitute of the free educations which we give. The reason being that many people from humble background, when they see the fees, that itself
Yeah.
create a discourage them to apply for it. Is
Apply
the
for it.
secondary question whether we'll get a scholarship or not. Whatever financial support will do, but they will not dare to do it. Looks like suppose if my college fee, LLB fees could have been that point of time, the way we charge in some private university, 4 lakhs and 5 lakhs rupees, I never thought of joining the course because the fees
Absolutely.
was 25, 30 rupees per month. I joined law courses that point of time. And so
Great.
that's the education which India gives. I think it's unparalleled.
And so your background is the reason that you went back to teaching and not practice?
Not per se my background, but what the teaching was, as I said that somewhere my inside was that I am first matric in my whole family and I want to study more. So whatever the degrees are there, I want to obtain that. And I found that the academics can only give one opportunity. Teaching also, it's a, I want to study higher. So it's not that the but teaching was, I was a passion of teaching because I was practiced for some time also and was
Mhm.
doing reasonably good before joining my LLM. But teaching comes accidentally. I did my just LLM dissertations first draft. So I have not
Mm.
completed LLM. I
Okay.
went to Menon sir and submitted my first draft because he used to interact with all LLM students. So even though we are doing under him or not as a research supervisor, but he used to supervise all of us. So as a first draft, when I finished, I went to him with my first draft and told to Menon sir that, sir, my draft is ready. And if you can just have a look and give comment. Then his second questions comes immediately after having a glance of few pages. He used to say me, Mr. Khan. So he said, Mr. Khan, what's your next aim? What you want to do? I said, sir, I have not decided. Second sentence, he don't used to talk a lot. He said second sentence in very precisely says, would you like to join NUJS? And like we say, like we never dream of. I said in very slow word, I say, it's my pleasure, sir. So I went to my table where we have a place, all LLM students sit together. I was sitting there and within half an hour time, I got appointment letter
Oh.
to work as an research assistant and then in different capacity I work. So
Mm.
that the beginning at NUJS and gradually I full-fledged, I joined NUJS there. So that's the life change. So Menon sir has really changed my life where I am today.
Very, I mean, it's very inspiring actually. And talking about the your current role in the university, before we go to your passionate subject, so what exactly do you teach there? And I mean, any specific area of law or?
I primarily I teach criminal law, but from last more than 20 years, I am teaching two subjects. I am teaching consistently from last 20 years. One is criminal procedure, other is evidence law. So that become now Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam,
Yeah.
and criminal procedures is become BNSS, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. Apart from this, I do teach subjects like juvenile justice, human rights, human trafficking, human rights and criminal justice, but all around criminal law and human rights. So it's a somewhere mixtures of the criminal law and human rights. That subject I do teach.
So now coming to your pet topic, let's talk about human trafficking. I know
Uh,
that it's a subject that's inspired you. I know you've written a book on that for us.
there are 2-3 incidents which I encounter with. Human trafficking in India, the entire anti-human trafficking movement took a pace after 2002, when National Human Rights Commission has done excellent research work.
Mhm.
And that work was done by one person called, you must be knowing him, PM, Dr. PM Nair. So he's a
Yeah.
senior police officer and under his leadership.
Mhm.
So, so I gone through that work, but during that time in 2006, when I came back from UK, 5 or 6, that point of time, he was in UNODC. And UNODC was executing the training programs for different organizations, police, prosecutors, judges on human trafficking.
Mhm.
So before that, I was very closely working with many development organizations, NGOs. Like in Calcutta, organizations like Apne Aap, Women Worldwide, Sunlap. There are many organizations with whom very closely I work them, pro bono assist them in the legal matters. So I was knowing human trafficking issues, I know the challenges. But when this UNODC project came, Professor Nair wanted me to execute training program in West Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. So
Oh.
West Bengal, we took assignment at NUJS. So we given training to police, prosecutors, judges. In Bihar and Jharkhand, as well as in Maharashtra, the assignment was given to an NGO called Apne Aap Women Worldwide. They have an office in Calcutta, Delhi, Mumbai, and now in New York also. So they got this project. And I was working there as their consultant. So I executed training program in 3 states on human trafficking issues. So during this period, I came across with many NGOs and very closely see the plight of the victims, because I started interacting with the victims, going to different places, and that's why eye opener. From there, I thought I will do my doctoral work on the issues of human trafficking, particularly sex trafficking. Then one incident which really shocked me, which you find in my book. You'll find the 80 cases, and the case studies number 1. It's a ban 1. It's a Bangladesh. There's a numbering code number which I have given. That case was really touchy. A girl who trafficked from Bangladesh brought to India, and somewhere she was rescued. To keep the thing short, so a girl, NGO was called. NGO representative reaches there. Somehow that NGO representative known to me. So she called me for assistance. I given her all advice. Advice to prosecute the perpetrators, registered FIR. She hand over the matter to the police. I was in Delhi that day, so I could not follow up next day. When I came back and follow up, I came to know that trafficking victim whom I know before handing over to the police, she was made accused by the police. So in FIR is registered that Bangladeshi girl was crossing the border, handed over by the police. So the victim become accused under 14 Foreigners Act. She was a minor because when she trafficked, she was in class 8 or 9. So must be minor. But police make age 19. Not corruption issue, but only issue because had they retained the original age, they have to brought the girl to JJB, which is situated 70 kilometers away.
Right.
So they wanted to avoid the work. So they took the girl to local court, and the local court, Bangladeshi girl, no support system, no PP for him, no lawyer for him, her. So she was sent to jail. The next day, she died under unnatural suspicious circumstances. Then we write to different authorities. There's an inquiry by the Women Commission, State Women Commission, Children Commissions. We file a writ petition also. We got some order from the High Court. But it is not the substitute of a life of a girl.
Correct.
This case was really touching to me. And I decided that I will do my doctoral work on sex trafficking, particularly between the India and Bangladesh. So that's the lead on which I wanted to do my PhD work. My idea was that I will do abroad somewhere. So I wanted to do my PhD full-time student. So like if I'm teaching and doing PhD simultaneously, I cannot devote that much time.
Correct.
And I was looking for a scholarship. So I applied in different universities. I got some admission, but did not get a scholarship. I was lucky enough to got a scholarship from the Hong Kong. So there's a Hong Kong UGC, they give some scholarship. So that fund I received from City University of Hong Kong. And I did my PhD there. And that's led to sex trafficking between India and Bangladesh. So because the topic was very close to my heart, that's reflected in my work. Because I went to Bangladesh, I interviewed victims. I went to different places in West Bengal. I talked to many victims. 80 cases I collected. Now, most of the time, collecting these cases is also very difficult. Only because I work very closely with NGOs, I got enormous support from the NGOs in India, NGOs in Bangladesh. And I went to remote places in the villages from where the victims were trafficked, where they repatriated back, and after repatriation, what they happened. So I took 80 cases, out of which 50 cases were victim trafficked, exploited, rescued, repatriated back Bangladesh. 30 cases where they were waiting for repatriation. And I deliberately chooses these cases because had I choose some victim who are already in red light area or in exploitative condition, I will not get the real picture. I wanted to see the real pictures once they are free.
Yeah.
And then I want to trace back every single incident which happened to them. So then going back to their cases, their prosecutions. So 80 cases on which my book is based upon, or my PhD is based upon, I try to bring all the nuances which happen on trafficking, including exploitations and the challenges which present systems really faces. So I try to bring all things together in one place.
So that was the book that we brought out in 2021.
Yes, right.
Correct.
With revisions of my PhD work, yes.
Yeah. So what happened after 2021 till now? No, you didn't publish any further, or?
No, I do publish some article, not the revision of the book, but now I am thinking of revising it because now there's changes are there in the law, etc. And I will come up with the new edition of it with bringing the Nyaya Sanhita provisions and the other changes. These are a few development at the international level also taken place. So I'm planning to bring in them. But what I published are basically book I published many, mostly editing volumes. It's published from the Thompsons also.
Yeah.
I think 5 books are published from the Thomson's
Correct.
Beauty, some from the
Yes.
others organizations. Presently, also I'm working on a Ruthless projects, which may comes by December or so. So I am doing some work, but I want to do, this is work is very close to my heart. So I wanted to do more on this, and I will bring new editions of this. I believe I can do that. And hope you can agree
No,
to publish.
no, absolutely. And I think you should, because it's a topic which is very important. And so on a slightly different tangential note, you have gone through a very tough journey to reach where you are today. What is your advice to youngsters who would probably be watching this and who could be thinking of coming into the legal profession, either into academic or professional? That is immaterial. But what would be your advice to them? I mean, in today's conditions.
Okay. I I normally advise the young people or the children, because I do close work with the students. In fact, I have not told you about my charity activities. I have established a trust by name Saket. It's basically Sarfraz Ahmad Khan Educational Trust.
Okay.
And what we normally do from last almost 13, 14 years, we prepare the children from vernacular language school, so Urdu medium, Bengali medium, whose accessibilities are less. They are not in legal professions. So we train them so that they can get admissions. And then we give hand-holding support to them. So every year, almost 40, 50 students, they get admission in the different law colleges. And I always suggest those people that there's nothing is impossible. So howsoever hardship a person might have got, if he consistently work, perseverance is there, nothing is impossible. And there's no substitute of hard work. There's nothing called shortcut. So if the even intelligence are the secondary issue, whether you are someone is intelligent, immaterial, some lack of intelligence you can cover by your hard work, because hard work can cover it. But there's nothing to cover if you are not hardworking. There's no substitute of it. So for young generation, I always suggest that there's no substitute of hardworking. If you do hard work, you get, like, I believe that there are many things which happened without our knowledge. We don't know where our destiny is. So I'm believer of God. So there is a definitely some places God plays some role. Because many times we don't know, suddenly some connection comes. I never thought of that. How can I get job in NUJS? It's Menon sir told me. For PhD, I was struggling that where I will get abroad admissions. Suddenly, one of the professors said me, why don't you apply for City University, Hong Kong? And I applied, I got it. So by God grace, there are some people who will suggest some point of time. And when the opportunity comes, we have to grab it. Many times we fail to take decisions, and sometimes when the decisions are tough, we don't take decisions. I believe that even if hardworking, and when you have to take decisions, howsoever difficult decisions are there, you have to take a decision and go. Whatever happened, it will, whatever destiny you will get. So hard work, and people can still get whatever is there. It's not only me. Like I know many students like me who are first generation lawyer, first generation student from my background. And all of them are in very high positions today in West Bengal, in other part of the country. It's only because of sheer their hard work, nothing else.
Yeah. No, you're right. And like you said, two words, perseverance and hard work, both. Both, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts that you would like to share? Because my intention was to cover your life, your journey. So I may not be aware of certain aspects. So you could tell us.
In my life, there's a many turning point. One of the turning point was definitely getting admissions to NUJS. If I say my life turning point, because you can see the difficulty that time when I got admission in NUJS, I already got married. So I married immediately after. We know in the family like us, I am elder brother, so there's always pressure to marry early. Family need bahu at the home. So I got married immediately after passing law. I was going to court. I doing reasonably good. So even for a young lawyer, it's difficult to get sustenance, but I was getting money from my senior, I was getting clients also. And then at a sudden, when I got admission in LLM, without even anything thinking, I got admission and I left practice. So it's a very tough decision. Having married,
Yeah.
I was expecting child in few months, but I took these decisions and joined a law university. So many times we have to take tough decision. If you want something great, you need to take tough decisions. Second phase of my life, I never thought of going to any other places for the purpose of job. But then suddenly, in sometimes the NUJS, there's a very difficult situation. Vice Chancellor was left from the university. I was registrar for some point of time. So I thought, why don't, and then my professor was working in MNLU Mumbai. So he said, why don't you come at my place? So that, okay, why not? So I asked for my leave. I got in MNLU Mumbai as associate professor. I went there. But then destiny was different. As soon as I joined in MNLU Mumbai, the professor who was vice chancellor there, he left. So he called me to go there and to work with him. And then my boss is not there. So no point in living there. I don't have any intention to live in the Mumbai city. So I don't have any such attractions for Mumbai. Then that day, I got some call from the Symbiosis, some HR department. Would you like to become director? And then one of my friend was there with me. He said, why don't apply? What is the harm in applying? So I sent my CV and it clicked. So from there, I went to become director at Symbiosis Law School, Hyderabad. I was 2 years as a director. I really enjoyed my period. I enjoy in the sense that I worked really hard there. And it's like unparalleled in 2 years. I conducted almost more than 9 conferences, a large number of seminars. So like if you see the Symbiosis Law School, Hyderabad website, web page, Facebook page, every day you will find 2-3 postings from the different student activities. So very vibrant environment was there. So I also think that wherever I am, I should leave my footprint. People will remember that I have done this work. So, and I have to do 100%. So whether what I get less, more immaterial, I have to give my 100%. So I given my 100% to MNLU. Then I got in Symbiosis, I joined Symbiosis, I given my 100%. But somehow my NUJS again called me. My lien was not extended. They asked me to join. And I have to come back my university because that's my parent organizations.
Correct.
So now again in my NUJS. So that's my journey so far in the academics life. So I for my the person, I say I can't claim that I am very intelligent person, but I can say I work. So I never hesitate in working hard. I can devote as much time possible. I may take much longer time than many other persons, but I don't hesitate to take that longer time and do the work.
No, so I don't know whether you know Dr. Khan, but I had my initial education in Calcutta. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know about it. Yeah.
I used to live in Garden Reach.
Okay.
Because my father was in the railways and I used to live in Garden Reach. And
there's a railway colony there.
I studied in St. Paul's.
Okay.
I studied in St. Paul's till the first few years of my, I think till maybe initial few years of school. And so I have this attachment to Calcutta even today. I mean, even though it is like, probably 50 years back, but I had recently gone there, I think last year.
Okay.
So I went back and looked at some of the places I still remember. And so I found that, some of the shops I remember are still there. Very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye, sir.